So here I am in my office, or what I call my office. It's just another room in the house. And I always like to further expand my knowledge of other manufacturing techniques. This one being sewing. I learned how to sew in my freshman year of high school back in like 2009. So that's where I really kind of learned to sew. And since I've been going on a lot of hiking trips, I wanted to create these gear bags. They look like this and they're drawstring. So this material is called Dyneema, or it was previously called Cuban fiber. I'm not sure why the name changed, but whatever. Anyway, it's super strong. It's in some cases stronger than steel, like steel cable, but you cannot cut this with scissors. I mean, you can, but it takes a long time. So what I ended up using to cut this stuff out with was this wood burner here. And I sort of ground this tip down so it's kind of sharp. It doesn't look very sharp, but it's pretty sharp, and when it's hot, it cuts right through that stuff like butter. So these things turn out to be pretty good bags to put stuff in while you're going backpacking and stuff like that. So I always carry 4 of them when I go hiking. I have one for clean clothes, dirty clothes, trash, and food. So I've cut out a bunch of these blanks with that wood burner cutter thing that I have. And I used some nylon sewing thread to sew all this together. And then I lightly heat it up, and everything contracts with this kind of material and the nylon. It makes the stitch much stronger, in my opinion. So this is the ironing station, and like I said before, I'm going to iron these out. I never ironed these old ones out before. This is actually my very first prototype, if you want to call it a prototype. But I never ironed it, so I want to iron it and sort of see if it'll tighten up any of the stitches. So that was my main goal with it. Also, when I screen print on these, it'll give it a nicer flat surface to print the logo on. It's worth mentioning here that I just generally have one size, this big size here, and the other sizes come from other smaller scraps that I have laying around. I can just use them for test pieces. And the different colors of material just specify like a different thickness of the material itself. So this one's just a little bit thinner than the darker gray that you saw. But the light green, that was my original one, that is the thinnest material of them all. They're still very, very strong, regardless of the thickness of the material. So I know this was a little bit of a different video, but this is just me testing out the waters of something new in manufacturing these things here. One thing to note about this, the screen printing that I didn't use the right ink. It is dry, but it's like slightly tacky. I don't know if I can go over it with an iron or something and fully cure that, but we'll see. This was just a test, and these are going to all my buddies anyway. So we'll see what comes from there, and these will be fully tested here shortly, upcoming this year. And it looks like going over it with the iron on all the stitching, looks like it it looks like it tightened up all the stitches. So I was pretty impressed with that, how that worked out. So yeah, I think that'll be good. This, like I said, this stuff is tough and it'll get through most anything. So here's my first attempt at doing any type of real hiking equipment. And that's also why I made the carbon fiber mill plate, because every big like backpacker, thru hiker, or any big hiker really is interested in being ultralight, so being super lightweight. So that's why I made the mill plate, and I wanted to make a few products out of carbon fiber sheet. So that will be coming up very soon. I don't know how soon, but it will be very soon, so I can test those out this summer. So I think that's it for now. Like I said, this was a little bit of a different video, so I can understand if you don't like it. It's away from CNC machining and other type of fabrication, but this is really fun for me doing this type of stuff. So I appreciate the watch, and we'll see you next time.